Hey everybody, welcome back to TAZ's Wig Closet at Wig Studio 1. Today, by popular request, I am finally bringing you a look at the Raquel Welch's Pretty Please in the color Shaded Biscuit RL19 23SS. There's a lot to love about this style, and I also have a few cautions for you if you're looking at purchasing this. You won't want to miss the details coming up. I purchased this with my own funds. I actually found it on clearance. This is a very expensive hand-tied style that I might not otherwise have been able to afford if I hadn't found it on clearance. So be sure to check out the clearance section of Wig Studio 1. There's a huge variety, anywhere between 40 to 50% off at any given time. So below the video, if you expand the description box, I will be sure to link this style brand new, as well as the clearance section, and you just have to visit it daily. That way, the next time something comes up that you are interested in, you can snap it up right away. Pretty Please was introduced spring of 2020, so I'm about a year behind in this review. There are other reviews out there, so I urge you to check them out as well. But if you're still on the fence about this style, there are some things that I want you to know. Pretty Please is a medium length, kind of shoulder skimming, sweetly layered style. Straight style. So let's get up close on this Shaded Biscuit as it appears on this Pretty Please. So I'm seeing a lot of warmer tones in this, a lot more warmer honeys. There is some cooler blonde in there, but there's less of that than typical. The biggest thing you're going to notice here though is this ultra black, ultra long root. In fact, if I take my hands like this, it just looks like I have dark brown to black hair. That root is so long, and it just kind of starkly contrasts with some of the cooler blonde notes here. I am personally not a fan of this long black root. It isn't flattering on a color like this. I think the rooting needs to be a little softer. And they will typically bring the light ash platinum highlighting right up to the root or up to the lace front. I believe that they have done that here, but as you can see, it's very scant. There's not a whole lot of it. And I'm just not quite sure what to make of it because it does nothing to break up that long block root that we're seeing there. So Shaded Biscuit lovers out there might be a little bit disappointed. It's still a beautiful color. It's still a light blonde, you know, it just has a little bit of variation that I am personally not happy about. Moving on to the style, it's like I say, it's really sweetly layered, it's shoulder skimming, and I think it's really flattering because that first layer here is about 6.5 inches, so that's going to stretch down to about my chin area. It uniquely kind of just files back into the style too. I like that feathery, kind of a little bit of a feathery action going on. And I think the more you train it, you can really see some of where that first layer breaks right in there. So it gives a little bit of feathery action. I think that's really cute. And practical too, because who wants to continue to move the hair out of the face constantly? Overall, it looks like it's about 13 to 14 inches overall. So like I say, just to the shoulder. And also it looks like it's been taken down a little bit on the ends, a little razoring. That will just give it a nice modern edge, and it will really help cut down on the weight of the style and give it a feathery, light textured movement. Now this is a completely hand-tied cap by Raquel Welch, and it weighs just over 4 ounces. So you will see a temple-to-temple lace front that it extends back into the ear tab, a full hand-tied single monofilament top, and then it's fully hand-tied all throughout this cap. We're gonna take a look at this cap here in just a moment because there's some integrated wefting and things. So it may be just a little bit different than what you're used to seeing on a hand-tied style. This is exactly the same cap that I saw on the Editor's Pick Elite. So if you're familiar with Raquel Welch sizing, that sizing runs average to average large for the most part, because as a petite average, I struggle to get a good fit. because the caps are too big. Now on their hand-tied caps, I think it's a little closer to average. So I did have to cinch in a little bit to accommodate a petite average circumference, but it's much more comfortable. So if you're out there and you have a large circumference and you're always used to Raquel Welch's caps fitting you perfectly, this one might be a little more snug than some of the open wefted designs by Raquel Welch. So let's get up close on the lace front. Raquel Welch always does an amazing job on those lace fronts. Always impeccably done. I'm never disappointed with the lace front, only the rooting sometimes. It lays flat to the head, it blends in nicely. All of the seams are well thought out and obscured. Beautiful. And then of course the hand-tied top will give you multiple parting options here and give a nice natural look anywhere you want to part it. The density on this style is just an average density. It's not thick and heavy. It's not light and fine. This is the true to life fiber by Raquel Welch, meaning that it is heat friendly. That has a certain feel and texture to it all on its own compared to a non-heat friendly synthetic. It feels a little more hardy than the finer silk touch of the regular synthetic. So due to the little bit of razoring here at the ends, this nice modern style, it just gives a nice light touch and appeal, even though it's about an average density. And you won't find any permatease on this style, any traditional permatease, no palpable permatease. So it's going to be a little flatter on the top. Okay, you're not reaching in and touching a pillowy permatease up on the top, anywhere on this cap really. So no permatease to support this. It's all done by the fiber. Now the good news. Here's an inside look at the cap for the completely hand-tied Raquel Welch's Pretty Please. There's a very generous wide lace front here. You can see that does extend all the way back through the ear tab on both sides. It's very deep. And then there is a seam that adjoins to the single hand-tied monofilament top. There's a nice brushed velvet ear tab here, nice sturdy stays. Lots of fiber spliced in to obscure any seams or visible areas of the cap. Then there is the extended felted nape with Velcro style adjusters. Now you'll notice that I did cinch those in slightly to accommodate a petite average circumference. And then here is the completely hand-tied back and sides. So you'll find a mesh material with the hand-sewn cluster knots. Okay. Now you'll see a lot of darting here just to give it a nice contoured-like fit. And then you'll see some integrated wefting at the bottom and the back. Now that's still a nice see-through material there. This just lends it a little bit of strength and stability and further helps to customize the fit. So as I mentioned, this style is right out of the box. I just kind of picked and fluffed and separated the fiber from the cap a little bit just to set it free. And then I raked back a lot with my hands just to give it a little bit of contour and keep the bangs out of the eyes. So these glasses fit beautifully between the ear and the ear tab on this style, very securely, very comfortably. There's no permatease or thick, heavy volume there in those areas.